Hello, it's Julie, and welcome back to part 2 of making 2 Daphne's diary journals. And I'm just working on the second one, getting pages pages put together for this second one, the one with the chickens. And you can go ahead and look at the first part if you'd like, or not, whatever. I mean, I'm a rebel at heart, so if someone told me to do it, I might not do it. So anyways, and we're going to start putting this together. So we have teacups and food, and we have this one and this one. I already put something like this in that one. So what I do with these is I seal them shut, and then I will fold, put it in like that. Okay, again, we got oriented both ways. Oh wow. And then I cut off the end. This one I'm going to do it differently. Oh, but this isn't gonna work, is it? It will if I go like this, but I guess that will work, won't it? I'll just have to put things in the top, but I really like that. So anyways, but yeah, that'll be that. Okay, so we now have food, then you have a recipe on each side, and then I'll just have to knock off part of it. Let's see here. It's okay to use the best that you have, because there's always going to be more, right? This is going to cut off part of a story. Oh well, it is a junk journal, but if one was going to keep the story, there is a way to do that. And I will do the folds like that. And you can actually read about them. I might have to put some washi there to keep that from coming apart. Maybe, maybe not. Just fold this. Oh, there's a picture of the choir. You know, I'm just gonna go with, yeah, it does matter. I'll just fold it deeper here. I should probably fold it the other one deeper. And before I forget about it, I'm going to grab some washi. This is basically my washi collection. I have a few more, but I didn't fold this one right. But again, I want to keep my supplies minimal. And see, it feels like the less supplies I have, the more creative I need to be. If that makes sense. Because then I'm more limited. It is kind of a fact that the more, if you put limitations on things, you actually can flourish more. Because, okay, just think about somebody saying, I want you to cook a meal for the president. And they will say, you'll say, well, what do you want me to make? And they might say, make some chicken. Okay, I don't know if this is a great example or not. Okay, let's go along with this food. How about they say, we want you to make dessert. And then you're like, okay, so then you could go anyway with dessert, but then you really want to be specific for what this person wants. And if they say, okay, well, they really like chocolate, because I do. And so then you can go that way. But then what if you're like, well, chocolate, you can do anything with chocolate. So maybe they say, we want you to do something that's a chocolate cake. So then you have, you know, you want to make a chocolate cake for dessert, and then you can flourish within that. I'm not like you couldn't before, but with more specifics, more limitations, you can really narrow down things more to what that person loves. You know, and say, I'm going to cut this off later. Okay, I think that's enough washi tape on here. So if I limit my things to what I really love, then oh, I did grab two. Then it actually is better, because then I'm only using what I love. And then I don't have as much stuff to manage, and it's not taking over my life. I don't have to keep everything. I don't have to use every single envelope that comes through the door. I don't have to use every single box that I empty, and not every single cereal box. Just on and on like that. Okay, what I did before was I did this. I'm a part of a junk journal buy nothing group. And there are so many new people that come and they're all excited about it. And they say, what do I need to buy so I can make these things? And it really gets me because we're very consumer driven. We love to go and buy things because then, we feel like, we got all the supplies together. We want to make sure we gather what we need, right? But with junk journaling, really all you need is something to cut with, something to glue with, and then just something to bind with. And that could even be your glue. That could be staples. That could be, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah. And you don't need to go out and buy things. You don't need to go out and stuff. I mean, if you want to, yeah, go for it. But it's not necessary to go out and buy all of the things. You don't have to go and buy a new embosser. You don't have to go and buy a crocodile. You don't have to go and buy what is that called? All of those tools that people have. You just don't need all that. Junk journals were made to be out of junk. You don't need to buy all the papers, the stamps. You can just enjoy making things. And just need something to cut, something to glue. And that glue could be, there are people who have preferences. It can be any kind of glue. You could use a glue stick. You can use that roller tape. You could use whatever. Some people, you could use Elmer's glue if that's what you have in hand. There are ways to use Elmer glue to make it so it doesn't wrinkle things. So don't get caught up in having to buy the things and then wanting your stuff to look like everybody else's that have been doing it for a long time, or everybody has their own style. You need to just start with what you have, and then you would see what you like doing, what you like working with. Maybe you find out you don't really like using stamps. Maybe you find you don't like using an embosser. Or you find you don't like using a paper cutter. You don't need a paper cutter. You could just tear. I mean, I could just take a straight edge here and tear. So there's a lot of things you don't really need. Okay, so now I have to figure out, I like the top here. And I'm a big proponent of use what you have, not go out and buy a bunch of stuff to start. So that is my opinion. Now, of course, some people take great joy in gathering and getting things and going to the store and finding all the things, which is fine. Everybody does their own thing. But for me, I don't get caught up in, I have to get all this stuff before I start. Start where you are. If you don't like it, you can recycle it or cover it up with something else. It doesn't really matter. It's all paper. And if you do start with stuff that are just basically, scraps and things, then it doesn't really matter that you messed up. Okay, so now we're going to assemble this one. I'm going to put, these are kind of the plain papers. And then we have some pattern papers, and then we have this and the Daphne's Diary. So what do we want to see when we first open this up? We want to see this. Definitely. That is beautiful. So, and I like to alternate that with a plainish paper. So this is white, so I'm going to put something that's a little bit more eye-catching. And now I'm going to do another Daphne's. So that's green. Let's soften that up here with this. And then we got pink. Oh, before we go too much farther, I need to find my centerpiece. Which item do I want to have in the middle? So I think the soap will be the centerpiece. So I want to set that one aside. Okay, so now we have this page, and now we want to put, let's say, this one in there. And this one's to the right, so I flip out to the right. And now we do another Daphne, and this is kind of a plain one, so I'm going to do, I just did a pink one. So let's do this one. Oh, no, no. Let's do this one. And then I'm going to do a page that folds out to the left. like that, because the last one went to the right. Let's do this. And let's see here, fold to the right. I'll do this. We fold to the left. This gives them extra room. These are people who are not jumping, so yeah. And we got this nice thing here. I'm going to do this because, yeah. And then we're going to do, I know I'm going to end like this, like that. So I'm going to go back here and say, is there anything here? Where do I want to put this to? Now, if I don't get all 20 pieces in here, I'm going to be okay with that. Okay, this could use a plain one here. That I'm not going to count. Say, do you have 20 pages in your journal? No, we're not going to do that. Hope not. If not, then I need to go to a different group. Okay, and this would be good here, like that. And then it's gonna work. Since this is kind of plain here, we're going to put this one here. Okay. So I'll do a final flip through. Oh shoot! I forgot this stuff. You're probably telling, don't forget the stuff over here, Julie. I can't hear you, unfortunately. Okay, so let's do. Do I really want this in here? Yes, I do. And to do that there, and then back there. I like that with this and that, and then music. Let's see, is there a spot that could get a little jazzed up? Right here, like that. Okay, there's one. So, do you remember me saying that I was having camera trouble? Well, I did again. It actually cut off the rest of the video, so I'm really sorry. And I already gave them away. So, what I will do to make up for that was you basically saw them put together. It's just a matter of assembling them, and I'm just going to flip through some other ones that I've made in the meantime that are very similar to what I did there, where I had a pattern, Daphne's diary, a plain page, and I don't think I explained this way, but the reason why I did a flip to the left and then a flip to the right was that when you're paging through, you don't have this and you have another flip to the left right away. Then it's just like it doesn't come up as often. So here you have a flip to the right after a few pages, and then so on. All right, so flip to the left, and then a flip to the right a few pages later. These ones that I made, I have a video I did of this, but it's basically the same stuff. Same reason, same way, and then I had a center folder, centerpiece, however you want to say, and so on. Okay, so then I just did a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and I'm not going to go into depth right now because there's so many tutorials on here, and it's basically, if you can pretend I have a sewing needle here, you go wherever you want the tie, that's the place where you start. If you want it inside, you start inside. You want it on the outside, you start on the outside. You go in through take your needle, go in through this way. You either go up or down, it doesn't matter. Go in through here, go all the way over, and then back up. And I also use my crocodile to make the holes. I have used an owl before, but I really don't like the look. It kind of has a jagged look to me. I like how neat and nice these holes are, and I hope that because they're so rounded that they wouldn't catch on something and then later tear something. Maybe they're a little more sturdy. I don't know. Time will tell. But anyways, I did try to record, well actually I did record a video on assembling these, but it is really the same thing, so I don't think I'm going to put that video up here. I'm just going to combine that into this one. That I just took the rest of my the hard covers, whatever was from the covers or whatever the insides that were harder cardstock, than the regular pages and use this as covers. And then I did the same exact thing where Daphne's diary page and regular page and alternate it. And I do that because then there's places to write and places to create things along with the pages. And it was actually easier to do it at 14 at a time because I just had to get like 14 pieces of this out, 14 pieces of that out to assemble them. And I had, like you saw, a big stack of the papers. Here I did a, oops, it's together. I did a Christmas one even. Oh, it's an awkward fold. Oh well. A couple of those because of course there's Christmas themed ones, and that was fun to do too. And so then I have a whole bunch of these for gift giving. I added a little piece of lace here because I didn't have, these weren't all lined up and I didn't feel like cutting them, so I think that might show up. Oh, I think I trimmed all these. But sometimes when you put yours together, you have an overhang of papers goes beyond the cover. Now, some people like that, and sometimes I do too. But in this case, because everything else was clean about them, it really kind of didn't look good. So one time, instead of just trimming them off, I decided to make it prettier. Put a little lace on it so you didn't see it as much. And it didn't look as awkward. So just basically extending the cover a little bit. You could use something else. You could use a little ruffle. You could use another piece of paper, whatever, to do that. And the reason why I did all these 14 together was because I wanted to just get it done with, use up what I have, and then I was thinking about boxing up the rest and getting rid of it, but then it's like, I can't do it, because one thing I have a hard time with is remembering not to use this stuff in things that I'm going to sell, because I also do some reselling, and I wanted to sell some of these and make a profit, a little bit, well, maybe not a huge profit, but I wanted to be able to, just sell some, because I like to do it, and I don't need that many journals, and I have so many paper things. Did I already go through this one? I don't know. And so I just want to make sure I keep this stuff separate from the regular papers, the other stuff that I have, so then I don't get into that copyright issue. But I wish that they didn't have that rule, because there's some really stinking cute stuff in here that I would love to include in things. And so I just have to remove the temptation of using these things in things that I sell. So I have a separate box that I keep it in. And even with these, I have them all made up. There's a whole bunch of these now. And I'm like, what do I do with them now? So here's a spring one. I'm going to put them in the box, and they will be used for gifts. And if I need a quick notebook or something, then I can grab one. If I feel like just sitting down and doing something relaxing, I can go through this and embellish it, add some text spots and some belly bands, some things like that, maybe do some covering of things. I think, which one? This one, I think I had done a little bit more finishing work. Did I don't know. There was a couple of them that I actually did a little more work on. Yeah, I did to cover things up that I thought, people might not like. It's like this. There was something here, and I just covered up with a little piece of paper for a journal spot. There might have been some others that I did until I'm like, I don't have time for this. I gotta do other stuff. So anyway. So this is how I have done these journals. Let me know what you think about using Daphne's diary. I know there's a lot of other junk journalists who do it, and I see that a lot of times when they start in the beginning, you see them using Daphne's, but as they get going and get to their own likes, their own style, they kind of go away from it. And so that's why I wanted to just get rid of them, not get rid of them, but just create with them, and just so that they're used up as much as possible. And then I have a ready-made, or just just like I said, just say I have a meeting I have to go to. I don't have any notebook like that's gonna happen. But anyways, I want to have a separate notebook. Let's say that, a separate notebook for this. And hey, this one would work. This one would work perfect for it, because we're gonna talk about plants. So then I just have them on hand and ready to go. So sorry so much. My deepest apologies for the issues with the filming and the camera. I did figure out what it was. It was my memory card acting up, and I did fix it. So from now on, it should be better. So thank you for bearing with me, and I'd love to know your thoughts. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next page. Goodbye.